Spiritual Teaching 305. Love each other. 1. The spiritual life of humanity is divided into 3 eras or periods. During the first era, I manifested myself as the Divine Father, during the second era as the Divine Master, and during this third era as the Divine Judge. 2. Those are the 3 phases of my manifestation to man so that he could truly know me. Do not assume that there are 3 gods or 3 separate beings, for truly there is only one Divine Spirit. During the present era, man is now able to comprehend those things that previously he thought were incomprehensible and mysterious. Man has been unable to comprehend the Trinity of God for many centuries because he lacked spiritual enlightenment. But it is now time for him to truly comprehend the Lord. 3. It will not be necessary for all of the nations on earth to witness this manifestation, because I will allow these teachings to spread throughout the world through writings and books, as in the second era. My spiritual message will then be known by all of humanity, and men of goodwill will arise to practice my teachings. 4. Although this book will be simple and humble, it will be filled with great spiritual enlightenment that will explain any doubts man has had. These teachings from the third era will complete the teachings that man had received from God from the past eras. The teachings from this era explain and simplify those teachings that were written symbolically in the books of the past. 5. Some individuals will receive these spiritual teachings and will recognize them as teachings from the Lord. Those individuals will then make a true effort to truly cleanse their stains. When they begin to eliminate their idolatry, fanaticism, and their materialism, they will attain true spiritual freedom and discover true peace and happiness. It is then when they will be able to enter the kingdom of heaven. There will also be other individuals who will continue to practice idolatry and material worship. They will not be interested in helping their spirit to evolve. Truly, I tell you that those individuals will fail to progress spiritually and will weep when they become aware of their spiritual ignorance and lack of spiritual progress. 6. If all things throughout the universe constantly change, evolve, and perfect themselves, why would your spirit continue to remain stagnant throughout the centuries? 7. The spirit of man should guide him in all that he does because that is its mission on earth. However, man ignores this and does not allow his spirit to fulfill its important mission on earth. He allows his spirit to only concentrate on his material needs, causing it to become confused and disoriented. 8. Now that you have learned and discovered many things scientifically, do not ignore the evolution of all beings throughout nature. Also, I want you to realize that you should no longer neglect your spirit nor prevent it from evolving from that state of spiritual darkness and dormancy. Man needs to make a true effort to live in harmony with all things in nature. Once man achieves that harmony, there are many secrets that nature will reveal to him, and the elements of nature will no longer be hostile, but will become his friend and servant. 9. I sent your spirit to incarnate on this planet with a human body to rule over all things that exist on earth. Man should not become a slave, a victim, nor the destitute that he has become. Man has become a slave to his needs, passions, vices, and ignorance. 10. Man has become a victim of his sufferings, experiences, and erroneous ways because he lacked spiritual elevation throughout his life. He feels empty inside because he has ignored his spiritual heritage. Thus, he disregards his spirituality and feels an emptiness in his life. 11. Humanity is spiritually asleep and needs to awaken from its spiritual ignorance so it can begin to study from the book of spiritual life. Then, as the generations of tomorrow begin to spiritually evolve, their spiritual wisdom will flourish in fulfillment of my word. I say to you that humanity will one day attain true spirituality and learn to live in harmony with all creation. There will be harmony between man's spirit, mind, and heart. 12. Although human evil has reached its highest level during this third era, it will also become an era of reconciliation and forgiveness. 13. Because man is inspired by selfish ambitions and negative emotions, he plans the destruction of his enemies who are, in reality, his brethren. I also plan the hour in which I will judge each individual and make them truly aware of what they have done. 14. That moment of judgment, in which each individual will be able to clearly listen to the voice of his conscience, will cause great pain for some individuals. Those individuals will then ask me, "My Lord, how was I capable of such evil deeds? Why did you allow me to carry out those deeds?" 15. Blessed are those who awaken spiritually after having listened to the voice of their conscience, for they will feel my forgiveness and become united with me. Many individuals will then truly comprehend my doctrine of love and will also understand the infinite love that God has for each of his children, including those who have sinned the most. 16. Yes, my beloved people, I love each one of my children infinitely. In every great sinner, there is a spirit who only needs to become spiritually enlightened to sin no more. 17. I have come to save those individuals who are following the wrong path, because they are also children of God. Each one of my children is worthy and precious to me. 18. I will spread this doctrine throughout the world, offering hope and salvation to all human beings. I will give each individual the opportunity to restitute for his past and present sins until he is able to feel my presence deep within his being. 19. Although you have been unable to feel my presence for a long time because you have separated from me, I am going to give you the opportunity to find me once again. I know that once you find me along your path, you will never again separate from me. 20. Come to me, those of you who have sinned. Do not fear when in my presence you will listen to my voice, judging your erroneous ways and sins before your brethren. I will not denounce you. Imitate Mary Magdalene, who was not afraid of coming before me to remove her sins. She did not care who saw her, listened to her, or judged her. She was at peace knowing that she was no longer a woman stained with sin, but a sinner that had become purifying through repentance. 21. Imitate the repentance and love of Mary Magdalene. 22. Everyone will hear my voice in their conscience. As I speak to them as Father, Divine Master, and Judge, they will feel great joy, love, and astonishment. My voice will be heard by all of my children deep within their being because their spirit is prepared to listen to me in that manner. 23. My voice will be heard within prison cells, telling those men and those women who feel abandoned and without hope, I am here with you. Do you perhaps think that I had abandoned you? No, my child, I have not come here to ask you if you are a murderer or what crimes you have committed. I have come to save those who have sinned with my love and to spiritually nourish those who have fallen. I have come to save the innocent one who has been a victim of false testimony, injustice, or an error. 24. My voice will be heard amidst the thundering noise of war in such a distinct and clear manner that men will lay down their weapons when they hear my voice and feel my presence. 25. Those who are ill in hospitals and elsewhere will also hear my voice and feel my presence. I will anoint and comfort those who are ill as only I can. My mantle of peace and comfort will protect those who suffer and who have been forgotten by their brethren. My healing balsam will ease their suffering, and they will arise to offer testimony of my spiritual presence. 26. Children and adults will feel my presence in their homes and will offer testimony of my presence. 27. If I find that love is lacking in a home, I will summon the husband and ask him, "Why are you not gentle and understanding with those in your family? Why has not the spark of love ignited within your marriage? For love is the flame that truly inspires your union." If I find that a husband has neglected his responsibilities, I will surprise him and ask, "Why have you separated from the true path and disregarded your responsibilities? Do you not have the courage to follow your path to the end? Return to the path that I placed you, because only along that path will you discover the presence of God, who will reward your faith, obedience, and strength. 28. Touching the most delicate fibers of her heart, I will ask the wife, "Woman, do you perhaps believe that you will find the peace that you seek by separating from your responsibilities? No, Do not deceive yourself. You will achieve true merits if you unselfishly fulfill your responsibilities with love and patience. 29. There will not be a single individual who will not feel my divine presence, encouraging him to reconciliate, to love, and to seek true spiritual peace. 30. I am seeking individuals who are prepared to receive my essence. I will penetrate spiritually into the inner temple of man to remove his sins, thus cleansing that inner sanctuary. 31. I have not brought a whip to force you to comprehend my teachings. Instead, I bring you the spiritual bread of life to nourish and strengthen you to evolve spiritually. 32. When the world believes that I have forgotten man and have abandoned him in the depths of his suffering and sins, I come once again to give him proof of my infinite love. My love can never abandon you, for I am your divine Father who forgives you. 33. Sometimes you become confused and are unable to comprehend why I speak with so much divine tenderness and love to sinners, rather than use harsh words so they can repent. 34. I say to you that although the regeneration and salvation of humanity may appear impossible during this third era, it will not be difficult because it will be carried out by the divine Lord. 35. My love will help mankind to return to the path of light and truth. My love will penetrate gently into the heart of each human being and reach the human conscience as it caresses each spirit. My love will transform those with hardened hearts into caring and sensitive individuals. It will also convert beings who are highly materialistic into beings who practice spirituality. It will change great sinners into men of peace, virtue, and goodwill. 36. I say this to you because only I know how much your spirit has evolved. Although man greatly sins because of his material worship and low passions, I know that man is truly not as materialistic as he appears to be. I know that when he feels my love gently touching his spirit, he will leave behind his materialism to follow my divine path. Although man is unaware of it, it is a path that he truly wants to follow. 37. I will not need to show man my divine law carved in stone as I did in the first era, nor will I need to manifest myself through the elements of nature for him to feel my presence. To save the spirit of man, I will not need to come again in human form, as I did through Jesus, and suffer and experience a cruel death. 38. Time has elapsed, and the spirit of man has evolved. Man is no longer the child that he was in the past when he needed to perceive the divine with his eyes and touch with his hands to believe in me. 39. Although man appears insensitive and highly materialistic, he possesses a spirit that is filled with divine enlightenment. Although the spirit of man has traveled long journeys throughout life, enduring great ordeals, it has acquired great knowledge, strength, and experience. All man needs to do is to listen to the voice of his conscience to regenerate his life. By listening to his conscience, man will discover the true tabernacle that exists within his being. That tabernacle contains the infinite voice of God, which guides man with the wise and eternal law of the Divine Father. It is the true path that man should follow because it is filled with enlightenment and security. 40. If humanity were not as spiritually evolved as it is now, or if it was not attaining spiritual freedom, I would not have revealed to it man's ability to communicate with me from spirit to spirit during this era. 41. The ordeals that humanity is presently enduring are signs that this era is coming to end. It is the decline of this period of great materialism and sorrow. Materialism has influenced man's ambitions, his deeds, his worship of God, his use of science, and those things that are dear to him. 42. Man's life on earth has been guided by his love for material things, his greed for earthly things, his selfishness, his low passions, his arrogance, and his love for himself. I have permitted man to harvest the fruit that he has sowed so that he will learn from his experiences. Truly I say to you that although this period will be remembered as the period of materialism on earth, the new period will be known as the era of spirituality. During that new era, man will be guided by his conscience and spirit. Man will feel the spirit of the Divine Father within his spirit, because he will be inspired by love. It is then when the spiritual gifts that man possesses will truly become developed. 43. My beloved people, you should be able to comprehend my teachings because they are simple and understandable. I am your Father, thus I have no secrets to conceal from you. I am revealing spiritual knowledge to you so that you may acquire the wisdom that you will need to become spiritually enlightened during this era. 44. The spirit of man has evolved. Man has developed the spiritual elevation and understanding to study the teachings of this period. 45. When you become spiritually prepared, your spirit will attain spiritual wisdom and possess the gifts of inspiration, speech, and analysis. 46. Be aware that you are destined to come to me, following the same path that I outlined when I lived on earth. Everyone knows the example that I set on earth. Is there anyone who has not heard the word Christ? Is there anyone who has not remembered the Divine Master during his ordeals? Is there anyone who has not pronounced the following words as death knocks at the door, and he enters the spiritual valley? Into your hands I entrust my spirit. I come to you because I am aware of your need for spiritual enlightenment and your desire to achieve spirituality. 47. Your shepherd has prepared you to come to me. He is the same one who summoned those in the desert who were thirsty and hungry for love during the second era. They eventually submitted to the shepherd and began to become spiritually prepared. 48. Elijah has brought you to me. It is his mission to always come before me. 49. Today you are living in a new era. The miraculous events that have occurred have helped your spirit to awaken and to listen carefully to my teachings. My teachings have helped you answer many questions and erase doubts you have had. The enlightenment that your spirit is receiving through my teachings encourages it to follow my path, perceiving in the heavens the Divine Father and Mother welcoming your spirit to live eternally with them. 50. Open your eyes to perceive the truth, for this is the period when all mysteries will be explained. 51. Do not allow fear to guide your steps nor to be the reason to fulfill my law. Only love and faith should guide your good deeds throughout life, for it is the only way to achieve true merits. 52. Humanity will be able to comprehend many things during this era of enlightenment because all mysteries will be explained. 53. You ask me from the bottom of your heart, Lord, what merits have we accomplished that have made us worthy of you revealing the truth? You said that blessed are those who believe without having seen. 54. O humanity, you make no effort to correctly interpret my word. Do you behold how it is necessary for me to help you to correctly interpret and comprehend my word? 55. Truly I said in the past, blessed are those who believe without having seen. That phrase meant that blessed are the individuals who do not attempt to see and understand the divine with their physical eyes, but rather through their faith, which is true spiritual vision. Blessed is the individual who makes no attempt to feel and perceive those things that are spiritual with his physical senses, but does prepare himself to feel my divine presence within his spirit. 56. Disciples, be aware that when I said, blessed are those who believe without having seen, I was referring to your physical senses. The one who truly believes is the individual who has felt my presence with his spirit. 57. Today, you are living in a period when you will believe because of your faith, which is spiritual vision. Your understanding will also be superior because it will be your spirit, rather than your physical body and mind, that will become enlightened with spiritual wisdom. 58. I say again during this era, blessed are those who, although having not seen with their material eyes and not capable of comprehending with their human capabilities, nevertheless, still believe in the divine because they are able to feel and understand with their spirit. They elevate themselves to perceive things spiritually and are able to comprehend with that intelligence that is superior to human understanding. 59. When a person develops true faith in God, it is because he has allowed his spirit to become spiritually enlightened. Would anyone or anything cause him to deny that spiritual wisdom? There are also many other individuals who deceive themselves with a false faith because they have not become spiritually enlightened. They are satisfied saying that they have faith. Although they haven't physically perceived the divine, they still believe in God. These are the individuals who will become confused, doubt God, and even reject God during their first ordeal. 60. I have come, however, to save all individuals. That is why you were told since the first era that the moment would arrive when everyone would be able to perceive me. 61. As you progress and evolve spiritually, you will discover the divine truth and my divine presence in all things that I have created and spiritually. I will then say to you, blessed are those who perceive me throughout creation, for they are the ones who will truly love me. 62. Blessed are those who know how to feel me with their spirit and with their material body, for they have become spiritually enlightened and awakened. 63. Humanity has been greatly detained from evolving spiritually by the impure and materialistic forms of worship that man practices. Consequently, man has prevented those miracles that occur through spiritual faith. He has also prevented the natural manifestation of spiritual and divine things on earth. 64. Although mankind constantly receives my blessings, benefits, and evidence of my love, it is not because I am rewarding their faith and practice of spirituality. It is because I have compassion for the misery, suffering, and ignorance of mankind. 65. I know that many individuals will be shocked and overreact when they become familiar with these teachings because of their misunderstanding of the physical body and the spirit. There will also be others who, although believing that human beings do possess a spirit, will refuse to acknowledge that the spirit needs to progress along a path of infinite evolution because of their adherence to their false beliefs and traditions. 66. I need to speak with words of justice in order to awaken man from his spiritual sleep. Although man has used his power to fulfill his worldly ambitions utilizing his free will, he still has the spiritual strength to progress. I will inspire man to create a new and better world through his own free will. That new world will be built on true faith whose goal is to spiritually evolve through love and justice. Has that not been my doctrine throughout all eras? 67. Analyze my teaching and allow your conscience to help you comprehend it after you have carefully studied it. Do not assign that responsibility to your mind nor to your heart because they do not have that ability. You now live during a period when my divine light is transformed into thoughts that reach your mind and allow you to penetrate into a world of infinite beauty and wisdom. 68. You are in the presence of the Divine Father who never tires of waiting for you. He comes near you to inspire you to pursue true spiritual values and to fill the emptiness in your heart with His love. 69. Although it has been almost 20 centuries since humanity saw me and heard me in human form, man does not realize that I have never truly separated from him nor stopped communicating with him for a single moment. 70. During the second era, I came in human form so that you would listen to my words. Today, I am manifesting myself through human spokesmen so that humanity would once again listen to my teachings. 71. It is no longer Jesus of Nazareth who presents himself to these multitudes. It is now Christ, the Divine Master, who is manifesting himself spiritually to give you his new teachings. 72. I manifested myself to humanity through Jesus. I spent my childhood in the village of Nazareth. Mary, the Holy Mother who gave birth to Jesus, was from Nazareth where I grew and became an adult. That is why humanity has referred to me as the man from Nazareth. 73. Today, I have not come from Nazareth, for I dwell in the spiritual kingdom, the true home of God that I spoke of since those times. I am allowing you to hear my voice, which knows no distance, for my voice is heard everywhere. 74. I bless you, my people. You have gathered to welcome me on this first day of the final year of my manifestation through human spokesman. 75. Although I will soon cease to manifest myself through these human spokesmen, do not forget that I have told you that I will never leave you nor cease to communicate with you spiritually through inspiration. 76. During the time that I dwelt among humanity in the second era, there was much confusion among mankind. However, there is greater confusion during this era when I manifested myself through human spokesmen. I prophesied in the past that I would manifest myself again to humanity, and that period has now arrived. I have given man teachings of enlightenment and truth which will guide him to follow my divine path. It will help him acquire the spiritual wisdom and knowledge necessary to understand those things he did not understand in the past. 77. This period that has begun is important because it is a period of great enlightenment and wisdom for humans and spirits. 78. This year, which marks the final year of this manifestation, is also a very important period for this multitude. During this year, my teachings will give you the laws, wisdom, and enlightenment to initiate the beginning of your new spiritual journey with strength and dedication. 79. My teachings are clear and full of enlightenment so that you cannot stumble along the path due to confusion or ignorance. 80. Treasure the essence of my teachings in your heart so that you may carry me within you and become a messenger, a guide, and a doctor to mankind. 81. If you practice my doctrine as I have taught you, and if you practice spiritual charity with your brethren, you will become one of my disciples rather than one of my students. You will then discover how easy it is to communicate with my spirit if your thoughts are pure and elevated. You will then comprehend why my manifestation through the human spokesman had to cease. If it would have continued indefinitely, you would never achieve a state of spiritual elevation. Instead of purifying yourself and achieving merits in order to communicate with me from spirit to spirit, you would have remained satisfied listening to my messages through the human spokesman. 82. Truly, I tell you that the essence of my teachings has been the communication of my spirit with your spirit. I have taught you how to achieve it, and now you have the mission of teaching your brethren throughout the world how to communicate spirit to spirit. What infinite joy my spirit will feel when my children are able to communicate spiritually with the Father. I will be able to listen to their spiritual voice and feel their embrace as I did when Jesus said, "I am thirsty, thirsty for your love." My peace be with you.